Kind of give me a description of what you're going to do with this, if you don't mind.
Serving underserved families during the holidays, and we're in support of this effort.
Thanksgiving, oh yeah, okay. Second annual Thanksgiving food basket giveaway. It leads in food.
Commissioner, we did have a question about that. That was referred to legal, but I never heard back. I don't know if that entity is registered in Alabama. And I didn't know if the AO required that. Just wanted to make that known just to be sure.
If you all go ahead and we'll check on it, we'll verify that. I think that we just got that in. We'll verify that, and if it's a problem, you can ask for it to be removed.
Or we can just bring it back up Thursday.
Sure, either.
Since it is new business, we can just do it Thursday when you have the answer.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and withdraw the motions that are on the floor as it relates to this particular item, as I know it, which it would have been very nice if there was a question that I knew as the commissioner prior to today.
Well, we just got this.
No, I'm not talking, listen,
Yeah,
hold on. I'm talking to you all. I'm talking about staff. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So, the only change that needed to be made was the amount that was on the agreement. So, we can go ahead and withdraw those, that motion, and then you say you're gonna have it on, because I'm almost sure, being that it was something that was done for the deputy, that was done, and matter of fact, it has an address on here of 2504 23rd Birmingham 35208. So,
What is
okay.
that? What is that? Is that the,
That's the address.
of the foundation or the,
Exactly.
and what did you say about the deputy?
No, I said this is the same organization that honored the deputy in Fairfield as relates to the child that was an overdose. So anyway, if Mr. President, if we're able to bring it up, seeing as though
Sure.
the county attorney is getting ready to go and verify that information.
We can bring it back up when we bring up the again.
Sure,
Right.
thank you.
All right, is that it? Okay, next we'll go to the development bid. Commissioner Tyson asked anyone to do it. Okay, I'll do it. Community development, human resource. Christine Hospital, there are no items. Coroner has 2 items: Steel City Mortuary Transport Service, and McLaren, Wilson, and Laurie Professional Architectural Services. I guess this is for the new. More?
It is. If I can give you a brief update, and thank you, Coroner, for taking time to come here as well. So UAB has started, or the healthcare authority started the project to tear down the parking deck. And UAB is in the hot pursuit of designing a new Cooper Green clinic. And the plan was initially to put the coroner's office in the clinic. Frankly, the price to do that, the cost to us per year is pretty extensive. So we've been working with the coroner to look, to study, look at other areas where we can put the coroner.
Hang on. Let y'all finish, then we'll proceed.
So,
You got 4. You go
all right,
ahead.
so we've, the coroner's been in touch with the architect and trying to lay out, a long-term, good, solid space for the county. And Tricia at the coroner have recommended this architect who specializes in corner spaces Coroner has this much money in his budget, this will give us a scope and a program for designing the coroner's office to help us get started and start laying the foundation. But we're kind of in a hurry because whether or not we put the coroner's office in the clinic, we need to know that. Right now, we don't really want to because if it's in the clinic, they have to charge back, to make sure all that paperwork is, it's really expensive. So we're looking at all options, this is the end step to really expedite that. And Coroner, thank you so much for working with us and helping us get to this point.
Likewise.
I'll move 1 and 2, but I do have a question. Is this a renewal of the transport company or is this a new one? A renewal?
It was bid, but it's the same company that we've been using for some time.
Okay. Move 1 and 2.
Motion second, all in favor say aye. We have Department of Community Service and Workforce Development, cancellation of the home program, scattered site CHDO agreement. Doc, why don't you go ahead and take this since all this is yours?
Yes, sir. This is with the Central Alabama Housing Alliance, which is our CHODO, which stands for Community Housing Development Organization. They've been delayed due to COVID and due to the cost of housing increasing. They can't meet the goals that were set out originally, and so we're proposing to cancel this for convenience and do this program later.
Is there some funding in place for this?
Yes, our home funds would cover the cost of this.
But can you hold those
Yes, sir.
until you revamp?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Number 2 and 3 are with our ERAP 2 program that's about to start with the Birmingham Urban League and Bridge Ministries. For Birmingham Urban League, we're doing a contract with them, excuse me, for $15,413,573, and with Bridge Ministries for $550,000. This will be for the case management and documentation that they have to perform for us to expend these funds and keep us from having to send those back to the Treasury Department. Number 4 is with Shelton State for fiscal year 22. This is for our standard adult and dislocated worker program. The reason there's no money requested is because the participants have the opportunity to choose where they go to school. So we just simply put the budget down, and we have $500,000 set aside for dislocated worker and $2 million set aside for the adult program.
Okay, now this Birmingham Urban League and Bridge, this is for the rental assistance
Yes, sir.
outside the city of Birmingham?
That's correct. That is
And
correct.
it covers utilities.
That's right.
I was going to ask, does it cover anything else?
Yeah,
What is
it's
the ERAP 2? What does that stand for?
Well, it's we got our first round of ERAP funds, so Treasury's calling this too. This is our second allocation.
But that first was about $1 million or so, wasn't it?
$3 million, I thought.
13 million was the first
Oh, wow.
first round. And this
That's where we had Urban League and JCCEO. is that
and
the
neighborhood
one?
housing as well participated in that.
All right.
Neighborhood housing won't be participating in the ERAP
Did
2.
they expend all of those funds?
Well, we have until next year to spend the ERAP 1 fund. So
How much have they expended year to date?
which ones for ERAP 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about 50% of those funds being expended. So that'd be about seven
Do
and
you
a half
have
million.
$13 million worth of outstanding mortgage rent that you?
Yeah. I mean, that we're being contacted for these funds all over our jurisdiction, and also, the issue with the state. Some of those clients are now calling us because the state's program is behind schedule. So we're having a lot of requests for these funds tied to COVID impacting their economic situation.
Do they recur? I mean, can you get a payment now and then call you back in a couple months to
Well-
get some more? I mean, do you have people that are on these perpetually?
Well, I wouldn't say not in too many cases, but in some cases. But keep in mind, this goes back to 2020, and so we're able to serve these people as long as they meet the eligibility requirements.
Does this include mortgage payments?
No, sir.
All right. What is the line that I can put out in my district for them to call to get help?
I'll send it to you. The partners. It'd be better for them to outreach to the partners themselves. I'll send you Urban League.
I understand, but I need a number that I can put out so that they can call the partners or who.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll email that to you.
Okay. Why is there so little amount going to bridge as opposed to urban?
Bridge did not want to take on any more than they could handle, and they felt that they could do $550,000. On the ERAP 1, they did $500,000, and they increased that a little bit for ERAP 2.
All right, I'll move 1 through 4.
Motion and second, all in favor say aye. Thank you very much. Administrative and Infrastructure Committee, got a very light schedule today. I hope we're doing more work than what I said. We got Alabama Power easement, which is going to be easy. And then a nuisance wildlife control, beaver control service. So, roads and transportation is 1 and 2.
Move 1 and 2.
Second.
Then moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
I say get the beavers.
Yeah, it's beavers. You know, they do have people that you don't have to pay to do that. They do it for the pelts. So, just FYI.
Well, that's not humane.
What do? They trap them and release them? They
Relocate.
relocate
And give them a nice home in the country.
with a conifer trap. All right, minutes from our commission meeting on November the 4th. Everyone had a chance to look at those minutes. Been moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. County manager, you want to do that? Go ahead.
BJ CPA letter of support resolution authorizing the commission president to sign a letter of support endorsing the federal route planning program. So, no commitments at all there, just supporting the programs. In UAB's pretrial services at the jail, including interviewing individuals booked into the jail, training these individuals, placing them into the program. Supervision, strategy, and training for substance abuse and mental health treatments.
Is that system that we kind of inherited from the courts when Judge Buhacker was here, that they paid for 1 year and then we assumed it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll move 1 and 2.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye. Okay, you've got a couple of new items.
Well, we had, one item, we advertised the zoning case and it slipped. We made a mistake and it's not get on the agenda. We'd like to add that to the agenda. And that can come later, but I just wanted to bring that up. And then also, we have a strange, but a company wanting to build and invest in Jefferson County from Wisconsin. And it's actually the Wisconsin, I'm gonna let Bill explain it to you, but there's a technical issue that they have to have your acknowledgement and approval, so with that, I'll turn it over to Bill. They're trying to get me to sign a letter, and I appreciate Bill's work, and help me flesh this out. Bill, can you explain it?
So in short, this is an apartment complex that's being built in unincorporated Jefferson County. And they are seeking their financing from a public financing authority, which is in Wisconsin. And the Wisconsin statute requires basically an acknowledgement that they're going to issue bonds within the governing body's jurisdiction. It's an acknowledgement. It doesn't support the project necessarily or waive any kind of rights that we would have regarding zoning or anything else like that. The Wisconsin statute initially said that could be accomplished by a signature from the highest ranking executive. And that was fine until they had a section that said that the governing body acknowledged it. So I wasn't comfortable with that with it coming before the body. But that in effect it's acknowledging that these folks are going to provide funding for an apartment complex.
Do we have that in a written document, or are we just going to move it and then you get one?
I just got it going, so I got
Okay,
a copy of the resolution.
I'll move it to be considered to be business.
Good, got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
I'll move the item.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 This is for apartments, did you say?
Yes. The current apartments, they're just buying out a current apartment complex, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The Loran is at Rocky Ridge.
Okay.
And I guess while we're here, just I checked with the situation with the previous issue of new business, and our rule, as long as the money is spent in Alabama, it doesn't require a registration in Alabama. And so I think the lower level of folks that were doing the evaluation of this have made the determination, and so it's fine.
We vote.
No, wait a minute.
So, point of clarification, did we vote on conditional use permit as well, both items?
What was the motion? Joe, you made the motion, did you?
For this, I did. For
For the
the,
letter, right?
what are you talking about?
I went back to Commissioner Scales' issue just then.
Okay, see, I didn't, no, that wasn't the motion.
Yeah, we have Cal's conditional use permit
All
on
right.
the table as well for new
Okay,
business.
we have a, one item, new business conditional use permit,
I'll move for unanimous.
for the unanimous consent. So we have a motion, second, all in favor say aye. Everybody's unanimous on that, now we move
Who's that?
for, all in favor say aye. Thank you. Get that straight, Bill.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right. That winds this up for you. Okay. Mr. Knight, Finance, Judicial, Emergency Management, Corruption, Human Services.
All right, finance, Ms. Dixon.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have item 1, 2, 3, which is our normal encumbrance purchasing agenda and purchasing exception report. Item number 4 is our unusual demand report. Item 5 is our disposal of fixed asset, that is a request from departments. Under budget management, we have multiple staff development, individual staff development, and informational items.
I'll move for 5.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Doing budget.
I did it.
Developmental services. Doing that, or Michael?
Did we do the BMO?
She said she did. Did you do budget?
Yes, I did. I don't know if we voted on it. I did.
She added it, so I said it was neither.
I said 1 through 5.
Okay, do I have a motion on the
No,
budget?
number 1 under
One other
I'll
BMO.
move the
BMO. Second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, there we go.
Check that one off.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I apologize. On the screen, can you go to the map? There's probably the one that's called current zoning. This is case Z 2118. It was on the commission's October agenda, and we voted to postpone this case until we have a quorum. In November, the case number Z 2118, the applicant is David Rawson. He's requested a map amendment from R1 Single Family District to C1 Commercial District for an existing, the expansion of an existing mini warehouse. The property is located at 360 Happy Lane in the Oxmoor Valley area. The site consists of approximately 4.11 acres.
Now, isn't this case pending on Thursday, not today? Does it have to go back to committee? I think
No.
this,
No, sir.
We've already had the public hearing,
yeah.
so we just have to bring it back.
We just bring this one up on Thursday.
It just will be on the commission agenda.
But do provide us that, Jason. But this doesn't have to go back to committee right now.
No, sir, it doesn't.
Okay.
I was giving you some details. I don't have to, we don't, Mr. Crowley, you.
Questions?
But we had the details first time. Remind everyone we won't have 4 commissioners here, so in order for this to pass, we'll have to have a 3 out of 4 majority to carry this. You still want to do it this Thursday, or do you want?
Yeah, we need to try and do that instead of holding up the customer.
Okay, so the next case is Z21-22. This is an application of Kayla Bishop for a map amendment from I-3 Industrial to A1 Agricultural for residential use. The property is located at 2112 Morris Majestic Road in the Morris area. The site consists of 7.93 acres. The Planning and Zoning Committee has recommended approval of this rezoning, and there was no opposition from the surrounding neighbors for the rezoning request.
210022, do I have a motion?
Fully added.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
The next case is case Z21-0023. It's the application of Robin Glenn for map amendment from R1, C3, and I1 to C3 commercial to remove split zoning from a property for an event center. The property is located at 7385 Highway 79 in the Pinson area. The site consists of 9.17 acres. The Planning and Zoning Committee is recommending approval, and there was no opposition from surrounding neighbors.
Move it.
Second.
No motion and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 210024.
Yes, sir. This is the application of Saucedo, Antonio Alcantara Saucedo, if I said it correctly. This is a map amendment from C1 commercial to R6 residential to bring into compliance the zoning for the existing residents. The property is located at 1070 McDonald Chapel Road in the minor area. The site consists of 0.34 acres. The Planning and Zoning is recommending approval, and there was no opposition.
Move it.
Second. No motion, second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Z 210033.
Yes, sir, this is the application of Brittany S. Davis of Charm South Clothing Company. She's requesting a map amendment from A1 Agricultural to C1 Commercial for a clothing boutique. The property is located at 4961 McIndory Street Road in the McCalla area. The site consists of 0.81 acres. Planning and Zoning Committee is recommending approval with conditions. There was no opposition from surrounding neighbors.
Fully added with the condition.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, all in favor for getting Jimmy a Charm clothing store, say aye.
Aye.
Z 210034.
Yes, sir, this is the application of Tina Ramsey of ANPR USA Incorporated. She's requesting a map amendment from C1 Commercial for removing restrictive covenants stating that this property shall be used as a gas station, convenience store, and restaurant only to obtain or for the purpose of obtaining a liquor license for an existing package store. The address is at 5607 Eastern Valley Road in the McCalla area. The site consists of 3.9 acres. The Planning and Zoning Committee is recommending approval, and there was no opposition from the surrounding area.
So it's the same property, they're just gonna add selling liquor?
Yes, sir.
Somebody transferring a license. Is that what it is?
No, what they did, there were covenants placed on this property, and correct me if I'm wrong.
You're correct, sir.
When they put that business there, these covenants are here because this is all we will allow to be here. Now they're asking for those covenants to be removed. Now, I received several calls from residents. I don't know whether it showed up here, but my office did. They asked for us to honor those covenants when it was placed here. I will move it to the agenda with the understanding that we put those covenants on there for them to have this business here. Now, it's kind of hard to cut them off.
Do you know how long ago I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was about to say, if the covenants are honored, then my question would be, would it change the overall project in terms of what is being presented today?
Yeah, they don't sell liquor.
The
Yeah,
only,
they can't sell it.
the only change would be the addition of a liquor store. Nothing else would change in the location. You still have the gas station and the convenience store.
So I'm sure that you all had a public hearing on this item, is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And you had no opposition at that time?
At that time, there was no opposition.
Okay.
Is this, so the restricted covenant was this the timestamp of 5/6/2020? Is that when it was originally done?
It's brand
So
new.
brand new.
Brand new.
It looks like a brand new facility too. Okay. I'll second.
Okay, so, all right, do I have a motion in a second? All in favor of moving it to the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
We had these covenants were in place in 20, and this is 21, they want to add.
Now they won't try them off.
Well, then Mike can get some liquor and go to the charm closure. Z 210035.
Yes, sir, this is the application of Gilbert F. Douglas III. It's the map amendment from A1 agricultural to R4 multifamily for the purpose of a 20-unit condominium development in the Hoover area. The address is 1858 Patton Chapel Road. Site consists of 1.9 acres. The Planning and Zoning Committee has recommended approval, and there was some opposition.
There was opposition, did you say?
I'm sorry?
There was opposition?
There was opposition, yes, sir. I think the opposition was specifically the height, but the zoning regulations do not regulate height in this area.
Well, the height is, it's just too short, is it?
Sir?
Three. Picture shows three.
3 stories?
Yep, 3 stories.
You're correct. It's
Okay, 3 stories.
I'm sorry.
I'll move it.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Z 210036.
This is the application of Marilyn V. Rice, map amendment from R1 Single Family District to A1 Agricultural District for residential use to include a farm. The address is 8370 John Goggins Road in the Dora area. Site consists of 51.89 acres. The Planning and Zoning Commission has recommended approval of this rezoning with conditions. There was no opposition from the surrounding neighbors.
I move.
There was opposition, excuse me.
There was opposition to make this a farm?
I had it here. This was given to me at the last minute to pass out. That's a separate sheet. It's a different publication.
Commissioner, I believe the concern was from the residential neighborhood as far as farming,
that this one?
which is why the P and Z considered conditions for this approval.
So it seems that this 50-something acres is going to for a subdivision.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
They have concerns about the farm animals and the proximity, which is why the PUC added the conditions of those suffering for the animals.
And the applicant has said this will not be a cattle farm, this will be his forever home located at this location. So there won't be any farming.
Well,
I move.
have a motion.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye to move it to the agenda. I guess they can come in and give us their complaints. All right. Is that it for you guys? Okay. All right, general services.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ish. Go
I
ahead.
have 2 items listed. The Dixie Warehouse Solutions is a contract for PM on the secured gate for parking at the 5 locations that we have throughout our portfolio. And the second item is the BJCC agreement for parking. It's a revenue generating contract for parking for Protect the Stadium.
What is that?
The parking agreement?
Yes.
So it's with the BJCC, so Last Parking manages the parking for the BJCC for the protective stadium events. And so we're actually offering our parking garage to them at fair market value for use.
Got a question. Any particular reason why it's only 2 months?
Yes, it's just for the schedule of UAB football. Then we're gonna look at the agreement again for future events.
Yeah, I would think since we're in the money-making business that
Yes.
we go beyond that.
Yes, so we're gonna look at the agreement for future events, but this was specifically just for
For the
the
games.
football schedule.
So there's one game left.
Yes,
So when the bowl game comes, will that be an option for them as well?
it can be,
Okay.
it can be.
I know that'll be, well, that'll still be in December, right? So we're still, the 2 months will still be covered. Okay.
The month will be covered, but that item isn't on that schedule, so we would have to amend it to include that particular event. It's specific for just UAB football.
Oh,
Or,
do we need to expand that then?
and last chance,
Well,
let's just do it for 2 months.
And make those changes.
Okay.
Is that what's that's in there?
Sir?
I mean, we got what's in it. We just see sent over, so.
Yes, that's all we got sent for their schedule, was just UAB, so we can amend
But
it.
they haven't voted on it.
Yeah, they,
Yeah, so we.
yeah.
We can look at it and talk with them if there's some different scenarios or different, I mean, obviously, I don't know whether they didn't include it for a reason, but it's fine with it. The contract as written could support it. I just don't know if they didn't submit it because of some different terms that may be involved there, so.
Yeah, this just says 2 months, so.
Right.
Okay.
So I don't know.
And it may be two different management.
Right.
UAB may be getting part of the parking proceeds from this, and Bo will receive it from the other.
Okay.
Maybe. I'll find out.
I'll move item 1 and 2.
A motion?
That-
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, we have probate court for amendment to the Wi-Fi 8013. This is to purchase additional wireless units for $7,100.
Move that.
Motion
Second.
second. All in favor, please say
Aye.
All right, I've got 3 community grants, 4 community grants, and 1 board appointment.
Move items 1 through 5.
Motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I do have an item of new business that's been put in front of me here for I'd like to get a motion to consider as new business, a resolution for a communications tower.
Mr. President,
For where?
before we take up this item, can we also go ahead with the item that was presented previously that we can do both at the same time?
Be Commissioner Knight, become this agenda. If not, I'll go back to you.
Okay,
Yeah, let's singularly do this one.
okay.
Do I have the motion to consider this communications tower?
I'll move for unanimous consent.
Have a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Who's, got a gentleman here that can speak to that? Would you please, sir?
Yes, this is just to build a 250-foot tower in the Azure region. It's to improve what is pretty poor cellular coverage in that area. It's up in the Black Warrior River. It's a very rural area that it's at a fire station, so I think it's needed to improve communications in that area.
Is there?
I can show you the map, but I really can't give you
Does it go to the river?
good almost all the way to the
Probably 200 feet, it might fall and hit the river.
250 feet, pretty good size.
Is there a tower already there, or this is going to be a new one?
This is going to be a new tower. There's not a tower that serves here.
FAA clearance,
Yes, sir.
there's a navigation. It's down at Brookwood. Is it in that?
It's down there by Willards. Smith County.
Castle?
Yes.
Down by Smith Camp, what it says here.
Well, if it's not Smith Camp, but that'll cover the river, shouldn't it?
All over the river, you can make a bridge.
So that's where it existing is now. That's what it is.
See, they're all, these are tower, existing towers.
Correct. That's it.
I believe Michael Morrison has the home.
That's good, Mike.
Good.
Now,
Can you see
give me
it?
an overlay.
Are your binoculars or your, you know? I was looking at it right here.
Oh, you were? This area is fairly isolated. It's right. It's the site itself is on property that's owned by the fire district. There's only three residences on two separate properties within 1,000 feet from this tower site. Most of this area is zoned A1 or I3, sparsely developed, as you can tell from the aerial photograph. This is what the current coverage is of this area. And you'll see where the site is, it's all covered in this blue and the darker colors, meaning that there's less coverage for people that are driving vehicles or for even the fire station itself. With the added coverage, it should pretty well cover that area all the way to the Walker County line. Sort of fills in a small gap in coverage that's there on the roadways.
Might help the tugboat captains.
Should be.
Huh?
It should.
Guess I need to
Well,
follow
you
that.
know, your fire station's right there too, I think that's.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second. Further discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Does the fire district receive
Revenue.
revenue from?
Yes.
That's it.
This is Concord, Vermont.
Warrior River.
Warrior River.
I'm not sure.
Warrior River Fire District.
Yes, the Warrior Fire District.
Warrior.
Maybe not.
Warrior Fire and Rescue.
Warrior Fire, okay.
All right. All right, I believe that concludes my report.
Oh, we didn't vote on it.
We did.
No.
Well, then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Sorry, sir, you gotta come back in.
Made him mad, Joe.
Hey, y'all drill Warrior Fire.
Information Technology and Economic Development Committee.
Good morning. First item is for economic development on project 6449. It's a project that we've discussed in executive session, and we have all signed an NDA. Even though there is some press out about it, we're still under our NDA until Thursday when we can, if this is all passes, we can make a bigger announcement.
Move on to third.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And to introduce April Danielson, who is with Wallace Jordan, who was the helped craft all the agreements, and also working on the one with JCWA. I have a presentation. I'm going to turn to Cal to introduce Sri on IT.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Sri is going to give a brief presentation on some cybersecurity technology that they're implementing. And I'm probably his worst critic on this because it drives me nuts, but I think it's the best thing we could possibly do. So, Sri, if you'll explain the great thing you got coming for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good morning, Commissioners. We have a brief presentation, and we have our team, Mr. Brandon Brown, he's our Information Security Officer, and Antonio Crespo is our Deputy CIO for IT Governance. And the team has worked diligently for the last several months in getting this project started. You've been hearing a lot of technology coming up, especially in the cybersecurity with the ransomware, malware, phishing, and you've been getting a lot of emails from our office in terms of educating all the employees about cybersecurity awareness. That's one portion of it. The other aspect is we want to make sure that we are more proactive, more diligent in protecting the county information, assets, and data. And this is not one of the unique things that we are doing. It's every major organizations are doing it. And the importance for this is recently, a couple of years ago, we went and got cybersecurity insurance for the county. For first 2 years, we had no issues because it's just going on. But since last year, there's tremendous proliferation of ransomware attacks. And we worked very closely with Theo's office and risk management. This year was a really big challenge for us even to get cybersecurity insurance because many companies are getting out of the business because so many organizations are being drastically hit with this Bitcoin ransomware attacks, and it's getting very difficult to make those ransom payments. And secondly, the aspect is in terms of protecting and safeguarding this. And just like you all familiar with our fiscal IT, audits that we get done for the county, the same way IT we get audited every year, and Warren Averett firm does all those audits. And one of the key requirements is how secure the IT organization is for the entire Jefferson County in protecting these assets. And if we don't follow certain guidelines, they get dinged us, and we have to make sure that we have to abide by those things. So instead of being reactive, we have been very proactive in providing education for all the employees and safeguarding our assets with having an outer layer of security protection. So this is called as, we are partnering with a company called as Okta, which is an industry leader in identity access management. And what we have done is we have coined a term called as JCC Access. That is what everybody will be learning as we move forward, what exactly JCC Access is and how is it going to help protect and safeguard the county assets, information, and data. So, Brandon, you could give us a brief overview on this one.
Sure, yeah.
What do we pay in premiums for that insurance?
I'll get that for you.
You go ahead. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just a brief overview of JCC Access. JCC Access is a single sign-on platform. What that does is provide a unified login experience that will allow county users to access multiple applications by using one set of secure credentials. As you guys know, within the county, we use many different applications that require their own username and password. With a single sign-on platform like JCC Access powered by Okta, it will allow us to combine those, we can integrate those applications into JCC Access, and users will be able to access their applications using one set of credentials.
What is the, I can't read what all that stuff is.
Yeah, that's the graphic there is just an example of what it would look like. So you can imagine going to, this is going to be a portal very similar to our intranet portal. I'm sure everyone's checked their email through that. So this will be similar. You can imagine going to a portal, logging in with your credentials. If you're outside the network, meaning if you're at home, you will be asked for a second factor to identify or to prove your identity and to allow access into the portal. And you can imagine those tiles you see there, those aren't applicable, those are just, that's just an example graphic from Okta, but you can imagine, you know, Develop View, Chronos, Acela, E-Ring within that tile. So once you're authenticated, I now have access to my portal and I can get into the applications that are pertinent to me.
Can you go from one application to the other without having to go back and relog?
I'll explain it to you, Commissioner. Just a second. Just as a high level, basically, think this as your desktop computer. This is your mobile device, right?
Right.
So the current situation, what you have is you come to your office, you log onto your computer, you have user ID and password, you have all the icons on your desktop across the board, all spread across.
Right.
If you have to log into Munis, you have to again put in your user ID and password.
Right.
If you have to log into your Chronos, you have to use user ID and password. Now with the pandemic since last year, we are using the hybrid work environment. That means you're at home. You have to, again, first in order to connect to our systems, you have to go through a VPN. For that, there is something called as a multi-factor authentication. People, majority of them who are using it, they get a one-time password on your cell phone. You key in, that is additional layer of protection. It says that basically it is you who are saying who you are to log into the system, right? So it is so complicated. Instead, what we have done is, with this system, it is a single pane of glass window. That means, irrespective of your computer or your mobile device, you log in once with your user ID and password, you get your Munis system, your Chronos system, everything tiled. This is just an example. All right there. You pick and choose. You want to log into Chronos. You click on that icon. It already captures your user ID and password. And immediately you can log in. You don't have to put your user ID and password every time you log into a system.
But it would seem like all someone would have to do is get into this system, and then they can go
But to get
everywhere.
into that, good point, Commissioner. So to get into that is when you type in user ID and password, it sends you a one-time password to your cell phone. Then you take that information and you key in. That's what.
Each time you use it?
Because only first time, pretty much, yes, because that's the additional layer of protection is required. And this is not, we are setting these rules, Commissioner. This is where the industry is going, because that's how many the crooks are so ahead of everyone, and they try to figure. All it takes is one employee clicking on a link, or it takes one malware getting into our system that can compromise the entire county system. So it's required for us that we do it. So what we're doing is we're trying to solidify and have a good password, which is 16 degrees characters. Type
16?
16, yes, sir.
Holy smoke.
But we're going to educate all the employees. That's where we are here. We are not saying that we are launching next week. Starting December, we're going to launch an education program along with, we have to register your mobile device. So that takes a couple of weeks, and our team will work with each and every department. We will provide all the education material. We want to make sure that every county employee registers their mobile device, whichever device it is. That way, when they log into our county system, we validate that they are who they are saying they are. If it is an employee or if it is a vendor working with Excel or Chronos or whoever it is, they want to access our system, we have to make sure that they are credentialed before and they can log into our system. Because if we don't do it, if we get audited by companies, one of the first questions they say is how tight and secure a network is. Second thing is, next year again we have to renew our cybersecurity insurance. We go and say, this year, believe me, our team worked for almost 1.5 weeks just to answer the questions for the cybersecurity insurance folks. That's how many pages of questions they ask. And not only just we saying yes, we have to prove that we have those systems in place. So it's a completely drastically changing world that we have to make sure we have these systems in place. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we have the systems right in place as a proactive measure rather than coming back and say, oops, sorry, now we have to work on it. So yes, it is a little bit challenging, but bear with us because the entire pandemic year and a half, people were connecting to our systems using this system, Duo, and it worked out great for us. So it's a transition and learning process, and we are here to work and guide with each and every department and educating them.
What's the cost on this system?
This, I don't
We
have
already
it.
purchased
We already purchased it, yes.
We already
Commissioner.
passed that?
We already passed, yes.
Okay.
And believe me, if we have this, our cybersecurity, when you're asking for premium, goes drastically. If we don't have it, then we are susceptible for more attacks that we don't have the systems in place.
How often will one have to change their 48-letter password?
That's a good question, Commissioner. Wow, I'm excited. You're asking the right questions because right now we are doing it every 3 months. Now we can do it once a year. And the best part is it's a self-password reset. That means your password gets expired or you forget your password, you don't have to call our IT help desk. It's right there on your phone. You log in and say, I need to change my password. You change it once for a year, you're good to go.
And this is just your initial rollout.
This is just initial. And we don't want to put all our systems at once, Commissioner, because we have to make sure that we know what we are doing. So we want to do it in a phase by phase. So our launch is in December. I'm sorry, I'm taking all your thing. Is because I want to make sure that everyone clearly understand if the commissioners support it, county managers support it, and we have all the department support, we can really stretch this out because we don't want to do this because this is going to impact the entire county. And we want to make sure that we are very specific and very intentional about communication. Communication is key for this one.
We appreciate you taking a proactive
Absolutely, sir.
approach.
And believe us, because we work very closely with our risk management, and we have reduced actually, because of all the systems we are in place, we are going to reduce our premiums for the county. That's a cost savings for the county, and that's the intent we need to work on.
Yeah, and insurance companies don't reduce premiums very much. But
Last time we had 5+ companies wanting to get our insurance, and the bidding process. But this time, hardly 2 companies. One company rejected outright, saying that we are going out of the business. So it's a very difficult, tough world out there, especially with the cybersecurity aspect.
Sri, is this similar to the Facebook where you log in, you have that 2-factor identification, and then you get a code generator?
Perfectly, exactly like Facebook or any financial institution. You log into your bank for Regions or BBVA, PNC Bank, Amazon, yes. So every company is fostering into this called as a multi-factor authentication. That means you have more than one type of authentication to say that you are who you are logging into that system.
Are you going to have an extra security where they ask you questions like who's your grandmother's first cousin and you have to put in there?
That is in terms,
I forget that stuff too.
That is in terms of password reset,
right.
But this system is going to make it easy for you.
Okay.
Let me ask this question.
Yes,
so, for those of us who do not utilize a county phone, we'll be able to access this system?
Absolutely, ma'am. You get to, because all we want is we want every employee to have a multi-factor authentication. So we will work with the device, whichever device you register. It can be your phone, it can be your personal email, or it can be your work email. Whichever is convenient for you, we can make that part of your multi-factor authentication.
Or all three?
It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good. Yes, absolutely.
Either
Yes,
or.
if you want either or.
Okay.
Is it, I've made a conscious effort to segregate my personal
Yes.
and the county.
Which you should do that, yes.
And that's what I was wondering. And that's something that we should continue to do. Am I correct?
Please, keep always your work separate and your personal separate. And for this one, coming to this, it's about a device that you can easily access to, because sometimes you might not have your work phone, but if you have your personal phone and you want to access one of the systems, you put in here wherever you can easily access your one-time password, you make that as a default device. And you can change it whenever you feel. The whole point is self-service aspect. We want to bring it to you instead of you coming to us.
Now, are there restrictions as to what sites you can access?
This one is specifically catered to county-owned systems. And this is not going to block you in terms of, once you connect to our system, that is your county network, we do monitor and we need to manage all the sites that is appropriate versus inappropriate.
I mean, like, if you're in this system, you can just Google.
Yes, pretty
You
much.
can't go to Pornhub.
Absolutely
or something
not.
like that.
We block it.
Cal can't do his Amazon.
Y'all make a note of that.
What's that, Commissioner?
Cal can't do his Amazon buying.
It is all extras. I got a plan to be able to do that.
So our ask, commissioners, is, first of all, thank you for taking time to listen to this, because this is important for the county. And secondly is to support, and if anyone has any questions, our team is there. We want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Every department, we address that, and we have a good communication plan. So all of the month of December, we will be sending out information to you all so that you can have our employees enroll their devices. And second week of January, we are planning to launch the first phase with few applications, and then February and March. We want to take it slowly so that we want to make sure that everyone understands and adapts to this new system. This is the future that we are going to go in.
And y'all are available to come to our office.
Anytime, Commissioner, absolutely. We're just one phone call away. Our team is working. We'll be on this one.
Y'all can explain it pretty easily.
Absolutely. Plus, we'll be sending we'll be working with our PIO office. We'll be getting a communication plan That's all tied up to the JCC access. And we want to make sure that the word JCC access goes along because we don't want to use the vendor name Okta. We want to make it our own. It is JCC access. That's your single dashboard portal for accessing all your county-related systems.
JCC access.
Yes, sir.
So what does it take? I mean, you're phasing in the different applications.
Yes.
So what does it take if we have an application that needs to be under that? What's the process of going through, making sure it's added in an appropriate timeline?
Very good question. What we have done is we have actually categorized our systems into category 1, 2, and 3. Most frequently accessed and high critical systems. And at the same time, we are asking, we'll be working with departments to work with the vendors because not every system is capable of being part of this. So there's a lot of background work. We have one of the contracts that we'll be putting for your approval. They work with us to do an interface for all of the systems. So it takes a little while, but we are already ramping up our efforts in working with all major systems that our employees use.
Any other questions for Sri?
JCC access.
Yes, and you see this logo? That's our PI office, Foster. He did that one. That's the logo you will see.
Good deal.
A VPN comes with this for all individuals?
Pardon, Commissioner?
That's VPN, right?
Yeah,
Virtual
VPN.
Private network.
Yes, virtual private
That's
network.
part,
That's the first phase we'll be doing it. That way, if you're at home, you want to connect to our system, you need to have VPN access for all our systems.
and that will rotate.
Yes.
Thank you. Good job.
All right. Sri, the next 3 items
Thank
are
you,
yours. You want to go ahead and take those?
Okay, we have 3 items. The first item is Estadia post-implementation. This is a company we are working to support our mainframe off of cloud.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Your requested amount is got a typo, I believe.
Let me see.
We're not requesting
Yeah, a couple
84
extra.
million.
No, $84,840.
It's got 2 extra dots.
2 dots there, yes. Good catch, Commissioner. We'll make that correction.
So what's the correct amount?
$84,840.
Okay.
The second one is called as a Catapult Systems Disaster Recovery. This is another thing. What we're trying to do is to provide any kind of a business continuity, disaster recovery aspect for the county critical systems be running off of the cloud, and we're very close in getting that project completed. So this is for providing that support services with Catapult systems. The requesting amount is $121,620. And the third one is Aquera. This is the subscription I was mentioning. This is the company who will be helping us write this interface to access all our systems. And we are requesting $56,000. It's a 3-year contract.
Move 2, 3, and 4.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll second.
One second and 2. Is that a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is the end of my report. Look forward to Thursday.
Big day for the county. All right, do you have that item of new
No, we'll
business?
go ahead and then leave it.
You want to hold it? Okay, commissioners want to hold that item of new business, for further clarification. Anything from you?
Definitely one bit of good news. There was a meeting with the Cooper Green Board Authority, and the demolition for the parking deck that was originally slated to be about $900,000 actually came in about $680 something.
Oh, that's better.
So expect some progress around December. So good things.
We have Thanksgiving coming up, the holidays coming up. I want to wish everyone, we have much to be thankful for this year. We really do. good to see those people, and I think County Manager Market changed the mask policy to voluntary or mandatory, which is good. It's good to see those people faces. I encourage those who still feel uncomfortable to wear your mask, those who feel comfortable. It's good to see your smiling face. So,
Is Cal going to give us turkeys this year or
I think Cal is.
something? He got that Amazon account.
I don't have three factors, no, I can't get into
Well, you know he's beginning to get comfortable in your job now. That's great. Well, there being no further business, and thank everyone for their participation in this meeting.
Thank you.